Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and today we're going to look at the Toshiba Excite 7.7. As you might guess, it's a 7.7-inch tablet, and what's cool about it isn't just the Super AMOLED display, really, as you can see, colorful, but it's the first quad-core 7-inch class tablet. We're going to look at it now. The Toshiba Excite 7.7 is, well, obviously the smallest of the trio of new Excite tablets from Toshiba. There's the Excite 7.7, the Excite 10, and the whopping big Excite 13-inch tablet. And 7.7 certainly is a sweet spot for a lot of you folks who want to have something that's very portable, that's good for ebooks, that kind of thing. And the nice thing about when you go from 7 to 7.7 inches, you can have a higher resolution like this. It has 1280 by 800 pixels. Some of the less expensive ones are still 1024 by 600 pixels. And you can go up to 1280 by 800 and have everything stay nice and readable looking. Neat things about the tablet are the AMOLED display. Now Toshiba doesn't say what kind of AMOLED technology they're using, but I can tell you it's really nice colors. They are super saturated, but they don't look cartoony either. Now sometimes I'm not too thrilled with AMOLED displays on phones, but on this guy they have really got something nice looking. Great color saturation, AMOLED's usual good deep blacks, and even the whites are fairly white when you're viewing it from a fairly direct forward angle. If you start to look very off axis, like at 130 degrees off axis or something, it will still move over, the whites will move over to blue. But in general, very, very nice color tuning on this as well. And the other great thing about the tablet is it's a quad-core Tegra 3, 1.3 gigahertz. This is the first 7-inch quad-core tablet. Now it may not have that crown for long, but for right now, June 24th is when it launches. It is the first one to have a quad-core in the 7-inch family form factor. As we take a look around the tablet, you can see it's very thin, kind of straight metal sides here. It's metal, it's Gorilla Glass up top, very nicely made, and pretty much your smaller version of the Excite 10, so it looks really nearly identical, just shrunk down. On the bottom here, this is the stereo speaker, right here and here, and this is your very large charging connector port. This uses the same cable as the Excite 10, big wide cable, kind of strange there with a little 7-inch guy. Potentially it could act as a dock connector for accessories as well. Nice amount of the cable for those of you who have a lot of USB cables break. Well, this one is not going to break. But speaking of USB, this is not also your sync port right here. You're going to use the micro USB port on the side if you want to copy data to and from the tablet. This is also a USB host port. That means that you can get a little adapter. They run about 20 bucks, USB host cable. Now it has to be a host cable, micro USB to full-size USB with host capabilities. And then you can use things like USB flash drives, game controllers, and other USB peripherals that Android has drivers for, which pretty much means game controllers, mice, keyboards, flash drives, hard drives, not 3G dongles, and not USB audio external controllers. This is your headphone jack right here, 3.5mm combo mic headphone jack, micro SD card slot right here for expandable storage, so you can expand not just with micro SD cards, but with flash drives, external portable hard drives, that kind of thing. By the way, this supports FAT32 for file system. It does not support NTFS. Up top here we have our controls, power, rotation lock slider, volume controls, nice metal, looks good, feels good, good tactile presence without being too easy to hit by accident, which is nice. And on that side we have exactly nothing. And on the back we have big shiny metal. Again, this looks just like the Excite 10. It has this kind of stippled finish here, makes it a little bit more grippy. Your bright Toshiba logo, and over here we have our 5-megapixel camera with LED flash. And here I have it in front of the Excite 10. So you can see obviously it's going to be considerably smaller. But they have the same design language. They have the beveled glass here, really nice touch if you take a look at that. So the bevel gives it a kind of classy look, and it feels nice in the hand. It's not an abrupt edge that digs into your hand. And it's easier to see in photographs. So if you look at our full review, you'll see close-up macro shots of the glass bevel. And if you look at the back side, you can see pretty much an identical look there. Same kind of metal surface on these. And they're both very thin. Toshiba's gone and made one of the thinnest and lightest tablets with the 10-inch, and they've done it again with the 7-inch. 7-inch tablet is only 0.3 inches thick, and it weighs 13 ounces, making it also incredibly light. Really nice and portable, good high-quality feel. And you should have those nice high-end touches like the metal casing and the bevel glass, the AMOLED display, and the quad-core Tegra processor, because this guy is not cheap. This is $449 for the 16 gig model. And here, especially in the US, where we think that bigger things should cost more money, unlike the Japanese who will pay more for something that's smaller, it's a hard sell because that's the same price as the 10-inch Excite. So yeah, I'm afraid that price is going to be the fatal flaw here. At least in this country, we're willing to pay more if something has 3G and if it gets subsidized maybe with a contract from a carrier, but $449 is just a lot of money for a 7.7-inch tablet. That's not to say it isn't nice, it doesn't have really good hardware and all that kind of thing, but there it is. And Acer Iconia A700, that's a 10-inch 1080p tablet. It's going to be coming out soon, also at the same price point, for another big hurt. Speaking of 3G or 4G, here in the US, this is a Wi-Fi only tablet, and it's the model AT270. We hear that overseas in Europe there will be one with the unlocked SIM card slot, but right now this is all we've got. We've got just the straight Wi-Fi version. This is single band Wi-Fi 802.11 BGN. It has Bluetooth. It has a GPS that works just fine. Again, if you're going to want to use this for navigation, or you're going to want to preload maps or have some kind of mobile hotspot available for it to use to download map data on the fly. 5 megapixel camera on the back, 2 megapixel camera on the front. Average quality for both of those. The front one's actually pretty decent for video chat, reasonably bright, and 5 megapixel camera in the back shoots 720p video. Again, you know, just average stuff. We're not going to say, wow, what an amazing photo you took with that tablet. It'll be an okay photo with that tablet. The tablet runs Android OS 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich, latest greatest version of that operating system, and it's pretty much unmodified. You're looking at straight ICS, which is true of most tablets on the market. Toshiba has a bunch of preloaded software here we'll cover in a minute, which is also about the same as what you're going to get on the Excite 10. But you see the UI here. We've got notifications here. We can tap here to get to all of our settings. This is scrollable. You'll notice that they have a balanced power setting here. You can, of course, adjust your brightness right in line, and audio enhancement, which we have turned on, has SRS WOW software. Does help some with separation and with volume. The speaker separation is actually pretty good since it's right at the bottom there, as far apart as I could possibly be. But volume, not really loud. But then again, it's a 7-inch tablet. There is just not room for big speakers here. And our application launcher is the usual standard ICS stuff. We have, you can, right up here, you can switch between apps and widgets. And your widget selection is pretty much the basic stuff. Gmail, YouTube Player, Maps, Google Books, that kind of stuff. And in terms of applications, Toshiba loads a lot of card games on here. As you can see, they always like to do that. Not sure why, but there they are. Plenty of card games to choose from. They have their own custom file manager, and that works pretty well with the USB host feature. We can plug in a flash drive, and it'll show right up in that file manager. Crackle is preloaded. We've got the Quick Office viewer-only version of the MS Office suite, so you can view Office documents. It does offer you an option to upgrade that to the Pro version that can edit and create documents as well, or you can buy and download your favorite Office compatible suite from the Android market, or Google Play Store rather, as it's now called. You can see we've got Kaspersky Antivirus here. LogMe and Ignition is pre-installed. Wild Tangent Games, I'm afraid that those are sneakily migrating over from the laptop platform, where they're often bundled with HP and Toshiba laptops. And we got Zinio on board as well. And Zinio is a really excellent magazine reader that renders things just like they would look on the printed page. Looks really nice on this because it has a beautiful display. I still think that 10 inches is the best form factor to actually reproduce a magazine readably, but it certainly looks nice and performed well. Take a look at the home screen here. Toshiba's afraid that you might miss all that good software, so they've created some folders for you here. So we've got all those card games loaded up here. We have entertainment. Crackle is preloaded, Netflix is preloaded, Google Play Movies, Amazon MP3 Radio, and Google Play Music. Books and News has Google Play Books, Zinio magazine reader we just spoke of, and we have Toshiba Books Place, which is powered by Blio. Really hasn't taken off, not so much in the US yet, but it is another ebook reading option, and you can download Amazon Kindle, Barnes & Noble Nook, Sony Reader, Aldico for those non-DRM EPUB books that you might want to read. All that kind of thing. And under productivity, we've got that Quick Office, Log Me In, Adobe Readers pre-installed, and Printer Share for printing over Wi-Fi networks. It is a reasonably good support for a variety of printers, at least the top name brand printers, HP printers, that kind of thing, Lexmark. And in the Toshiba group, we have once again Books Place and News Place, the file manager, and their own media player. In terms of performance, well, this is a Tegra 3 quad-core or 4+1 companion core processor running at 1.3 gigahertz, and yes, it's fast, just as you'd expect. Quadra scores 4,000. On Tutu, it does 9560, very good score there. GL benchmark for the Egypt off-screen test, we get 61 FIPS. It just falls behind the Excite 10 at 69 FIPS, but still anything in the 60s is quite good. And SunSpider JavaScript test is 2000. The tablet has the usual very solid Android WebKit-based web browser, Adobe Flash Player, and again, fairly standard UI here. You can see you've got your quick shortcuts here to go home, go back, and multitask and look at everything that's running right now and switch between it. And we've got our menu control here for settings, including requesting desktop site if we wish. And you've got your quick access to favorites over here, search, and adding anything to your favorites. Like I'd like to add our website to my favorite list, just like that. Browsing speed is good, scrolling speed is fine, and you can see that the whites are pretty white. I'm not seeing a blue tint here. You have to look at it pretty off angle to start having it look blue. Text is also very sharp. The zooming speed is excellent. Now let's see how it does on Adobe Flash Playback. We're going to look at our Samsung Galaxy S3 review, and then we'll check out our video review embedded in there. Again, scrolling speeds are good. I'm not seeing that checkerboarding kind of problem. And you can see our volume is, well, we're up to about 3/4 now.
This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and here's the moment you guys have been waiting for quite some time. We have the T-Mobile version here in blue and the Sprint version in white.
And the Adobe Flash Player controls are very responsive thanks to the fast Tegra CPU, so doing something like tapping to bring it out to full screen works well.
And we'll take a look at those versions as well, but for starters, we're going to look at the T-Mobile and Sprint versions, and I can tell you that pretty much you're looking at the identical hardware.
So that plays just fine. And now we'll check out some locally stored video content, and we'll use Toshiba's media player to do that. So here is Toshiba's kind of dreamy looking media player. We start off with our music right here. Again, this is the same as on the Excite 10 tablet. It's kind of nice looking. You've got your playback controls here and all the music that's been stored, and you can swipe over to look at your videos. And you can swipe over to see photos, which we don't have any. And this also works as a streaming media player, and it handles podcasts as well. But let's go back to our videos. I tap on it, got a selection, so we'll go with the 1080p movie trailer. And then you see just how nice this screen looks for watching videos. Really luscious popping colors, good contrast on it.
We're talking about huge potential repair itself.
Really nice.
The cure.
Again, really sharp, really a pleasure. You just want to watch movies on this. And of course you can use Netflix and Crackle and anything else you want, the built-in YouTube player as well. And the tablet, thanks to the Tegra 3, can handle any game that you throw at it, including Tegra's own games, because well, obviously it has a Tegra processor. We're going to check out Trial X2, Winter Edition. Obviously the 7-inch form factor lends itself to reading, and we're going to check out how text looks. We're going to use Google Play Books to do that. There's our usual interface. And you can do side-by-side, not so compelling in a 7-inch screen though, so we're going to flip it over to portrait mode. You can see how it looks though with facing pages. Speed's just fine. And you can see illustrations look just fine. Text looks nice and sharp. AMOLED displays don't always have the sharpest text, but this looks pretty nice to my eyes. Toshiba did a very nice job here. And battery life is important for something that you might be buying to read a lot of books on. And happily, like most 7-inch tablets, battery life is quite good. In fact, we managed over 10 hours with brightness set at 65%, Wi-Fi turned on and active. So that's quite good. And if you keep the brightness at 50%, turn off your wireless, gosh knows, you might actually make it to 12 hours with this. If you're going to watch videos, I would say, depending on your brightness again, at about 50%, you could get up to 10 hours of video playback on this, making this a nice transcontinental buddy on the airplane if you want to watch movies. So that's the Toshiba Excite 7.7, available June 24th, $449 for the 16 gig, and there will be a 32 gig. I really like everything about this 7.7-inch tablet. I like the size. I love the screen colors. The clarity is very good on it. Resolution is high at 1280 by 800. It's fast thanks to that Tegra 3 CPU. You can play Tegra Zone games nicely. It's compatible with them. It has good build quality. It's really thin, really light, nice quality materials. The only thing is that price tag. These days, tablets are all about that downward price pressure, and I'm just not sure how many of you are going to spend $449 on this tablet. That said, it is one of the nicest quality 7-inch tablets on the market. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Visit our website for the full review, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.